WVC7 Bangor.
Great Northwoods to the Rock Mountain Colors and streaming live in HD worldwide at foxbangor.com. More people choose Good Morning Maine.
Hello, everyone. Today on Good Morning Maine, a serious threat prompts a school lockdown on MDI.
Plus, voters in some central Maine communities will decide whether to replace 3 aging school buildings.
And we'll also check out a new state-of-the-art classroom that's giving some elementary school students a new way of learning.
Good morning and welcome to Good Morning Maine. I'm Emma Smith.
I'm Craig Colson. Thank you for tuning in. We'll have those stories and much more coming up. But first, we're going to talk about the weather. And boy, what can you say about today? It's going to be a beautiful sunny day.
I know. Yesterday, near the end of the day, it seemed like it was clearing up a little bit. Yeah. And I was like, this is a good omen for tomorrow. And it seems like that's what Devin is forecasting.
Pretty warm, too.
And thank you very much, Craig and Emma. Happy Wednesday. Your first weather forecast brought to you by Boosted Auto and Diesel. For all your automotive, heavy truck, and equipment needs, call Ronnie at 207-659-9458. Alrighty, here we are. It's a beautiful morning out there when the clouds are getting out of here. We had a system that passed through recently, and it's going to help to cool us off just a little bit. We're still going to be in the 60s. It's still going to be pretty nice, but still windy out there with the north wind getting up at 20 miles per hour from time to time. Here's the big picture. We have a lot of this activity now that's out towards sea, and there's some lightning with it as well, but we're starting to calm down as high pressure is going to be moving in for us today, and that equals some very nice weather that will be taking place. But as for today, though, futurecast, a lot of sunshine, maybe a few passing clouds from time to time. We might see a few clouds and even some dense fog possible overnight tonight. Again, it won't be very widespread, but you might notice it in a few areas for the morning period tomorrow. As for the wind, again, some sustained winds up to 10 to 15 miles per hour, gusts up to 25 miles per hour early in the day. But later this evening, that wind will begin to back off and actually switch out of the south and west. But again, your forecast for today, lower 60s, mostly sunny, a little breezy out there. That north wind getting up to around 20 miles per hour. Later on tonight, lower 30s, mostly clear. Some areas of dense fog on the way with the wind overall looking nice and calm. And that hourly forecast for the rest of the morning and afternoon period, not too bad. Seeing a lot of sunshine temperatures. That'll be making it into the lower 60s. That will feel nice. Your full 5-day forecast is coming up. Craig and Emma.
All right, thank you, Devin. Well, in today's news, there will be no school once again today at MDI High School as police continue to investigate a serious threat. It was a chaotic and stressful day for students, staff, and parents on Tuesday after that threat prompted officials to place the school into lockdown. The school went into lockdown around 12:30 in the afternoon and stayed that way for hours because of that threat. Authorities say the threat received was serious. They worked with school administration to manage the situation.
It was really scary, just to hear that there was a threat outside the school and being in lockdown for 3 or more hours. The teachers weren't telling us anything. We were getting updates from other students online. We were trying to show the teacher as much as we could because they were obviously trying to figure everything out. And it was really stressful for everyone. And
yeah, we're just glad everybody's safe and can go home tonight, you know. Obviously, it's pretty real. Yeah.
All students were bused to the elementary school. A long line of parents formed as they waited to show identification in order to pick their kids up. There's no word yet on the exact nature or content of the threat. Bar Harbor police say they do have a suspect and expect to release more details about the threat today. According to WDEA radio this morning, counselors will also be on hand at the school today for any students who would like to talk about the situation. Students will also be able to return to campus today to retrieve their belongings and vehicles.
One person died and another was injured in a crash in Washington County on Monday. It happened just before 7:30 on Route 192 in Northfield. Washington County Sheriff Barry Curtis says an investigation determined a car driven by 33-year-old Helen Dominato of Massachusetts crossed the center line into the path of a truck driven by 65-year-old William Sternberg of Jonesboro. Dominato died at the scene. Sternberg was taken to a local hospital with serious but non-life-threatening injuries. Curtis says the crash is still under investigation, but speed and alcohol do not appear to have been factors.
Well, there's a boil water order in place for the town of Howland, and it could be in effect for weeks. Crews from the town were flushing hydrants Monday afternoon when they discovered the water pressure starting to drop. They determined there was a leak in the water system. They notified the town of Lincoln, where they get their water from. to see how many gallons they were using.
Normally it ranges anywhere from 45 to 65 gallons a minute. Last night at the peak of it, they was sending us 800 gallons a minute, and we wasn't making any headway in our standpipe.
From the town have been out shutting off water mains to try to figure out where that leak is coming from. The town manager says that the boil water order could be in place for up to a couple of weeks. In the meantime, the town is working with Maine Emergency Management to bring in water for residents.
Governor Janet Mills says she's not ready to leave the Blaine House. Mills is running for re-election in hopes of serving as Maine's governor for another 4 years. Our Jody Hersey has more.
In 2019, Janet Mills became Maine's first female governor, and she's not ready to give up the title yet.
First day in office, I, by executive order, implemented the people's will and expanded Medicaid so that now more than 90,000 people in Maine have health care who didn't have it before.
Mills is running for re-election against Republican candidate Paul LePage, who has also served as the governor of Maine in years past. However, Mills says she and her opponent could not be more different, especially when it comes to Roe v. Wade.
I do not believe that women's rights and women's health care are things that are dispensable. Women are not second-rate citizens. We deserve every part of health care that we can get, and I will stand for those rights every day that I am the governor of the state of Maine.
Mills is just as passionate about fighting for more affordable housing here in the state and for better internet service for those working from home.
Workforce housing is at a critical stage. We need workforce housing. We need child care, and we're expanding our child care opportunities right now to keep working parents on the job. More broadband, high-speed internet is critical in this 21st century.
If elected, Mills says economic recovery for the state and its citizens will continue to be her priority.
I've been talking to businesses and individuals up and down the state to help us on the road to recovery, economic recovery, and that's what I want to focus on in the next 4 years.
In Bangor, I'm Jody Hersey for ABC 7 and Fox 22.
And we'll be hearing from lots of the candidates heading up to Election Day. Well, meanwhile, inflation relief checks have been sent out to more than 850,000 Mainers, and the deadline to file a 2021 income tax return to get a check has now closed. The Mills administration says the $850 checks, or $1,700 for the average Maine family, was intended to help people deal with rising costs. The relief payments gave back more than half of the state surplus. The measure was proposed by Governor Mills in her supplemental budget and drew on an idea from Republican lawmakers. It was overwhelmingly passed by the state legislature.
Millinocket is once again accepting recyclables at the curb. Due to the change, many items are now banned from trash pickup and must be recycled. Cardboard, paperboard egg crates, and package containers, magazines, newspapers, tin cans, plastic containers, metal, office paper, and other items must now be recycled per town ordinance. For more information and a complete list of required recyclables, head to the Town of Millinocket's website.
A few neighboring towns have the opportunity to replace 3 aging school buildings all at once. A.J. Douglas sat down with his superintendent of MSAD 49 to find out how.
On Election Day, Albion, Clinton, Benton, and Fairfield residents will vote on 2 special referendum questions. One question will request authorization for a new school building located at a proposed site in Benton. Residents will also have the chance to decide if a $1.8 million gymnasium expansion should take place. The gym project will also add more bleachers for public use.
So we're consolidating into one campus for efficiencies. And we have the issue of 3 aging school buildings that have really reached their life expectancy.
A teacher from Benton Elementary says she and her peers have concerns about the focus on a new school building when local teachers have not received raises and some employees do not have medical benefits. Hersom says the new school building consolidation will be paid for entirely by the state.
The bulk of the cost of the project a little over $45 million is subsidized by the state. So a new school is essentially free to our school community.
Hersom says the school district will provide transportation to the new school, which supporters say will provide multiple benefits for years to come.
It is something that is going to take the burden off the local community.
The superintendent reminds voters the district may not get a second chance at this opportunity, and if residents approve the consolidation project, then Benton Elementary will be the new location for a universal kindergarten system available to parents. In Fairfield, A.J. Douglas, ABC 7, Fox 22.
The time is now 6:10. Coming up next on Good Morning Maine, we'll visit a new virtual reality classroom in Piscataquis County that's giving students a new way to learn.
But first, let's take another look at that forecast. A beautiful, mostly sunny day today with highs up around 60 degrees. We can expect clear skies with some areas of dense fog overnight, getting a little chilly down into the low 30s. Tomorrow, a partly cloudy day with highs right around 59.
Looking to improve or upgrade your home or place of business? With at-home furniture, appliance, and bedding, and kitchen and bath and flooring, we offer a great selection to do just that. From homeowners to commercial businesses and everything in between, our friendly professionals with more than 50 years of combined experience pride themselves in going above and beyond to work with you every step of the way. And we even offer a full-service appliance repair department. Come and visit us at our Dover Foxcroft or our new Lincoln location. Stop in either location today and see what we can do to make you feel at home.
Jared Golden says one thing in Maine, another thing in Washington.
Thanks to Biden and his golden boy, Jared, everything is more expensive.
Heating oil is through the roof, and winter is coming.
Jared Golden's policies are going to make people decide whether to heat or to eat.
What's Jared Golden done about it?
He voted to raise taxes on every Mainer.
Jared Golden, independent when it's convenient and liberal when it matters.
Sounds like a typical politician to me.
Congressional Leadership Fund is responsible for the content of this advertising.
I am so fearful this winter for oil prices.
We can't go on like this.
Jared Golden's votes are definitely making inflation worse.
Jared Golden is not independent.
Golden and Biden are lockstep.
I'm a Marine Corps veteran, and I cannot support Jared Golden.
We need to make a change. Maine needs Bruce Poliquin.
Bruce Poliquin is concerned with Maine people of all walks of life.
I know Bruce Poliquin cares for Maine, and I know he'll fight for us.
I'm Bruce Poliquin, and I approve this.
Welcome back to Good Morning Maine. A new immersive 360-degree virtual reality classroom recently opened at Piscataquis Community Elementary School. Matthew Dronsick has the story.
In a stark contrast from typical school classrooms with desks and a whiteboard, students at Piscataquis Community Elementary School are incorporating a new learning setting, a 360-degree immersed learning classroom. Piscataquis Community Elementary School Principal Anita Wright advocated for this state-of-the-art room.
I realized that it had components that would allow for teaching, like especially with STEM, and it would also allow students to see places and have exposure that they wouldn't otherwise have.
The idea for a 360-degree virtual reality classroom was brought up during the pandemic to help students retain more information.
It began during the shutdown in 2020 in researching what might help students when they re-entered school. And at that time, virtual reality, I was reading about that it was a leading therapy, if you will, for anxiety, depression.
This project was funded through the Elementary and Secondary School Emergency Relief Grant. Teaming up with Dr. Pamela Thompson of Thomas College, she helped pitch the idea and helped during the design process of the classroom, which helped students learn in a way they've never experienced before.
It allows access for learners all over the globe to go all over the globe. You can be immersed in all sorts of environments. And so what it does is it brings those experiences to any learner.
The classroom can bring students to places almost anywhere in the world, including the Bahamas and Antarctica.
I just want them to be able to see the world outside of this rural Maine. Like if I'm reading a novel and it's taking place in a castle in Scotland, I want to take them to that castle in Scotland before we start and build that background knowledge for them to be able to understand what they're reading about or what they're learning about.
and the students say they are so blown away with what this classroom can do.
It's really cool. I think it's really cool that I'm in one of the only schools that has a 360 room.
And even teachers say this state-of-the-art room is already paying dividends.
That it really just brings them right into focus of what the lesson is about. It really engages them. They have a lot more questions when they get done coming out of this room. Really makes them be thinkers.
Matthew Juronsik, ABC7 and Fox 22.
Very neat. Well, Bangor City councilors are trying to decide how to allocate more than $20 million in federal funding. The city has the funding thanks to the American Rescue Plan. Councilors discussed where they think the surplus funds should be allocated during a workshop that was held last night. Residents have been vocal about how they think the money should be spent. The city held 6 public sessions, during which residents gave their opinions on the issue. During last night's workshop, city councilors listed their funding priorities and what the process of allocating money would look like.
I think we should make sure that we are using this money that impacts all residents so that we are not leaving out children, senior citizens. I know that there's a great need for housing and homelessness services, but I want to make sure that we are thinking of all of our population.
Well, the funds must be committed by December 2024 and spent by December 2026.
Well, it's a Lung Cancer Awareness Month, and that disease kills about 433 Americans every day. To put it into perspective, that's the same number of seats on a 747 airplane. Maine's lung cancer rates are 30% higher than the national average. Northern Light Eastern Maine Medical Center is offering lung cancer screenings at all of its hospitals across the state. They say early detection is key.
The low-dose lung cancer screening, it's there to detect these early-stage cancers when you have no symptoms and when there are more treatment options available to you, and it gives you the best chance of survival.
With expanded eligibility from most insurance companies, more people are eligible for the screening. It takes 5 minutes and there is no IV involved. You can get more information by calling the Northern Light Lung Cancer Screening Program at 973-5822.
Like with most cancers, early detection is usually key.
I know, and rates in Maine are a little bit higher, I think, than in other places.
A little scary.
Yeah.
Well, today, right now, it is 6:17. Coming up after the break, we'll have an update regarding forever chemical levels in deer, now that the rifle season is underway.
Plus, the Maine Department of Inland Fisheries and Wildlife is seeking public comment on their upcoming fur bearer management plan. We'll be right back.
As a medical group commander in the United States Air Force and a surgeon, I never asked my patients about their politics. It's the same in Augusta. If someone has a good idea, it doesn't matter what party they're from. That's how I passed bipartisan bills, to cut down on government paperwork to make it easier for the uninsured to access health care. Remove barriers to allow small businesses to provide health insurance, and help Mainers who might be at risk of an accidental drug overdose. I'm Dr. Richard Evans, and I ask for your vote.
Here is CVS Health, where they're working to eliminate the pink tax to ensure we don't pay more than men for the same thing, because women's razors are just razors. Here, healthier happens together.
I'm Jay Pearl from Carroll Harper & Associates, Maine's most experienced Medicare health plans agency. Every day we hear how complicated navigating the Medicare maze can be. Let us help. From enrolling in Medicare to finding the right Medicare health plan, we are your go-to agency. We represent Martins Point Generations Advantage and other Medicare health plans that meet our quality standards. There's no cost or obligation for our services, so call Carroll Harper & Associates today.
Welcome back. After public health officials advised residents last year not to consume deer killed in Fairfield, some hunters now say they're simply going to find another place to hunt. Brad Rogers has more.
There's a horse farm up there, and the place is just loaded with deer, and it was a great area.
Joe LaFave used to hunt deer for the venison every year in his hometown of Fairfield, but after the discovery of dangerous forever chemicals in fields and animals here, his hunting days are over.
Everybody that's hunted, it's already in our systems. You know, we've been eating bird and turkey and deer for years here. So everybody's contaminated. There's no question about it.
He says his neighbors have high levels of PFAS, and he's still waiting on his test results. Meanwhile, the state is waiting for the rest of their test results on the 60 deer they harvested a few months ago from the Fairfield area.
And what we saw with when we tested some turkeys this spring was once you got off some of the highly contaminated areas, levels dropped pretty rapidly in the tissue of these animals. Once you remove the PFAS and give them fresh water or fresh feed, PFAS levels drop very quickly.
For now, the state is still advising hunters not to eat any deer, fish, or wildlife from the Fairfield area.
I certainly wouldn't hunt down in that Fairfield area.
But hunters we spoke with also know many other farms across Maine are contaminated with PFAS.
How concerned are you about the deer meat around?
Definitely unnerving to think about, taking an animal and not being able to use it.
Two major deer meat processors near Fairfield say they're as busy as ever after opening weekend of hunting season.
I got people still coming from the Fairfield area, and they're still eating them. They don't care. They said they've done it for years and years. I wouldn't feed it to my kid. Everything's so contaminated now.
Joe LaFave won't either, now that he knows the dangerous health effects of these forever chemicals from sludge spread on farm fields.
I lost a daughter last October. Kidney and heart disease, and they're saying that the PFAS is a big cause of that. They can't dismiss it now. It's just the proof is out there.
Right now, there's no way for hunters to test game for PFAS. Mark Laddie says because of the high demand, labs are only running tests for state and federal agencies.
Unfortunately, there's no way for a hunter to take a sample of the deer they shot and get it to a lab.
The state hopes these tests on deer harvested from the Fairfield area will increase their understanding of PFAS in wildlife, so they can apply it in other contaminated parts of the state.
That was Brad Rogers reporting. Kind of disturbing what's happening out there.
I know. I hope in the next few years there will be able to be some sort of portable test and a lab that's able to test that for people.
They did that with moose for a long time. When they harvested moose, they would take a tooth or something and put it as part of a study. Maybe they can do something like that with deer in that area too.
Of course, it would be an infrastructure problem with the lab and staffing, but maybe in the future. Well, the time is now 6:22.
Time to get a full look at our forecast. A nice sunny day on the way. Here's Devin Biggs.
Good morning.
Alrighty, Craig and Emma, thank you very much. Your full weather forecast brought to you by Boosted Auto and Diesel. For all your automotive, heavy truck, and equipment needs, call Ronnie at 207-659-9458. Alrighty, here we are. The radar and satellite's pretty quiet out there now after we had a front that's moved through, although we're still seeing a change, though, with the wind. It's going to be out in the north with gusts up to around 20 miles per hour from time to time. But if there's any good news that I can happily report, though, here's high pressure right here. Here's that front that's moving through. And some good news with that is, that means some nice weather will be moving in throughout the daytime today with a lot of sunshine. We'll just have to deal with the wind with the cold front and high pressure really close to one another. But again, not too bad, though. Some gusty winds will be the only big deal today that can reach up around 20, maybe 25 miles per hour from time to time today, with the gustiest of the winds further off towards the east. But later this evening, though, into the overnight, look what happens. The winds really begin to calm down as high pressure begins to set up shop. And again, maybe some areas of dense fog for the daytime tomorrow. Wave height, it's not too bad at around 3 feet according to the buoy. Some areas even up to 5 feet. Again, no small craft advisories in effect at this point. Things remain relatively calm for us. But look at this. The temperatures have been amazing recently. We've had temperatures that have been in the 60s and even a few 70s from time to time as well. This is way above normal for this time of the year. Our average high should actually be in the lower 50s. How about 51 degrees? We're going to be well past that today with the lower 60s. The upper 50s Thursday. Another surge in temperatures, mid-60s Friday, making a run for 70s Saturday, Sunday, even into your day on Monday before we cool off again as we head towards your Tuesday. And I haven't dug this out in a while, the muggy meter. Look what's going on here. Dew points actually rise with its warm-up Saturday and a Sunday. We might notice dew points will be in the lower 60s. Nothing ridiculous, though, but you might notice it feeling a little bit muggy from time to time. Kind of weird. It's November, and I'm digging this graphic out. So kind of crazy to see what the weather's doing this time of the year. Longer-term forecast, November 7th through the 11th. High probability that these above-average temperatures in general will continue. Yeah, we have a little bit of a cool down, but the probability of us being above average average, and right now that average high is 51 degrees will continue. Futurecast moving forward, though, again, a beautiful day out there for today. Just a few passing clouds from time to time. Otherwise, a lot of sunshine. Will be mostly clear tonight. Some areas of dense fog cannot be ruled out. Futurecast picking up on that nicely. Maybe a few passing clouds as well, and maybe a few passing clouds again as we head towards your Thursday. But overall, things continue to remain nice. Lower 60s today, mostly sunny and breezy with that north wind getting up to about 20 miles per hour. Moving ahead towards tonight, lower 30s out there, mostly clear, some areas of dense fog with the wind overall looking nice and calm. For tomorrow, upper 50s, maybe lower 60s, a partly cloudy sky. That southwest wind backing off to about 5 to 10 miles per hour. And your Boost Auto and Diesel extended forecast. Here we are, looking really good for your Friday. Partly cloudy, highs in the mid 60s. We're in the upper 60s, maybe lower 70s on Saturday with a mostly cloudy sky. And a small chance of rain on Sunday, which is also the time change as 2 a.m. becomes 1 a.m. with highs in the low 70s.
70 degrees in November in Maine. It's just crazy.
That's bizarre.
Yeah.
Yep, I'll take it, I guess.
Yeah, it feels good. I won't argue with you. Is it global warming? Is it something else?
Probably.
Probably.
Still much more to come as Good Morning Maine continues.
Stick with us.
Janet Mills? 4 years ago, we filmed an ad here supporting her. But Janet has been a disaster for the state of Maine. She's driving up inflation, and her decisions have permanently harmed small businesses and our economy.
And she's bad for seniors and Maine families. Mills raised our electric bill, and she's pushing up home heating costs.
We need Paul LePage now.
We've got to vote for Paul LePage.
Do you have leaky pipes? Are you planning a plumbing job? Is your heating system working right? Are you designing a plumbing project? Then contact Harley's Plumbing and Heating Plus.
If your toilet will not flush, Harley will be there in a rush. Furnace bit the dust today. Harley crew is on the way. Harley Plumbing, Harley Heating. 990-2200.
Call now.
Harley!
Call or visit online.
Jared Golden and the Democrats by the numbers. The worst inflation in 40 years. Home heating, groceries, gasoline, all through the roof. 87,000 new IRS agents. $20 billion in new taxes on the middle class. All because 83% of the time, Jared Golden votes with Biden and Pelosi. On November 8, stop the Democrats' war on the middle class. Defeat Jared Golden. The NRCC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
We're no football players, but we do know a lot about Medicare.
So why call some out-of-state 800 number
when help is right here at home?
Listen to what these people have to say.
My insurance kept going up and up and up and up.
I could never have navigated through the loopholes.
Gave me all my options and signed me up with what I needed within an hour.
Senior Planning Center was a lifesaver for us.
Oh, by the way,
we represent most Medicare health plans.
You're watching ABC 7 Bangor.
The man accused of breaking into House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's home and beating her husband appeared in court on Tuesday. David DePape was planning to kidnap Pelosi and told police he was on a suicide mission and also had plans to target other California and federal politicians. DePape was ordered to be held without bail during his arraignment in San Francisco Superior Court. His public defender entered a not guilty plea on his behalf. Paul Pelosi was knocked unconscious by the hammer attack and woke up in a pool of his own blood. Prosecutors said the intent of the politically motivated act could not have been clearer. He forced his way into the Pelosi home, intending to take the person third in line to the presidency of the United States hostage and to seriously harm her.
Well, it's the home stretch to Election Day, and candidates are making their final pitches to voters. Control of the House and Senate are on the line, hinging on some razor-thin races in key states like Nevada, Georgia, and Pennsylvania. ABC's Jay O'Brien has new polling showing where some of those races stand now, and the political heavyweights Republicans and Democrats are bringing in during the final days before voters head to the polls.
Less than a week from Election Day and President Biden rallying for Democrats in Florida.
So vote. Get out to vote and win. Vote,
vote, vote.
Biden laying out what he says is at stake this election, including bashing what he says are proposed cuts to Social Security and Medicare from Florida's prominent Republican Senator Rick Scott, leading Republican efforts to retake the Senate.
They're coming after Social Security and Medicare in a big way. And he laid out a clear plan. He said every 5 years, Social Security and Medicare would have to be reauthorized.
Scott over the weekend telling CNN the GOP won't slash retiree benefits.
No, and I don't know one Republican that does.
All of it as the home stretch to Election Day heats up. Control of the Senate hinging on races in key states like Georgia, where a New York Times Siena College poll found 49% of voters say if the election were held today, they'd back Democratic incumbent Raphael Warnock, 46% supporting Republican Herschel Walker. And in Nevada, a dead heat between Democratic incumbent Catherine Cortez Masto and Republican Adam Laxalt.
Send Catherine Cortez Masto back to the United States Senate.
Former President Barack Obama campaigning in Nevada yesterday and planning an event in Pennsylvania this weekend for Democrat John Fetterman, holding a slight lead over Republican Mehmet Oz. And former President Donald Trump also planning a rally in the Keystone State for Oz that same day, part of his own swing through battleground states, supporting hand-picked GOP candidates.
And while there are razor-thin races for control of the Senate, a lot of attention is on the House, too. Our partners at 538 show Republicans with an 80% chance of retaking power in that chamber. And GOP leaders say if they do, they will waste no time in starting investigations into President Biden, the administration, and the Biden family.
Few more days to go.
I know, just less than a week.
I think a lot of people can't wait for it to be over.
I'm of that mindset. Yeah. Yep. Well, still to come here on the second half of our show, we'll learn about the food drive that was kicked off yesterday on the UMaine campus.
Plus, we'll hear about a Herman teacher that was surprised with a prestigious award that came with a large prize. That and more as Good Morning Maine continues.
Hello, people. It's my favorite time of year.
This morning, amazing deals and steals.
On my favorite things. Your family gets gifts, your friends get gifts. Everybody gets a gift.
On
Good Morning America.
Inflation, a broken supply chain, and high gas prices. Mainers everywhere are facing tough decisions about rising costs. Growing up as part of a small family business in Leeds, I learned what a struggling economy does to small businesses, jobs, and to working class people. And serving as a Marine in Afghanistan and Iraq taught me to stand strong for what's right in the face of adversity. I'm Jared Golden, and that's why in Congress, I'm an independent voice for you, taking on my own party to stand up for Maine families. I was the only Democrat to vote against trillions of dollars of President Biden's agenda because I knew it would make inflation worse. I helped pass new laws to rebuild our nation's infrastructure and begin to repair our broken supply chain. And I'm fighting Biden's failed energy policy, forcing him to drill more American oil to lower gas prices. I'll always be an independent fighter for you. I'm Jared Golden, and this is my family. I approve this message because when it comes to doing what's right for your family, I'll never back down.
From start to finish, Ware Butler Building Supply will get you there. Ware Butler started in Maine as a lumber operation in the 1920s. Like most Mainers, Ware Butler adapted to the times and became a building supply company. Through good old Maine resolve and calloused hands, Ware Butler has grown with locations throughout Maine, including Lewiston, Auburn. If you're a contractor, if you're a do-it-yourselfer, let the folks at Ware Butler show you the benefits of small town service. Ware Butler Building Supply, Maine, from start to finish.
People today, they could spend half their lives over 50, but it's gonna take some planning.
What can you do for me?
Make sure your money lives as long as you do. The younger you are, the more you need AARP. Join today.
You're watching ABC 7 Bangor.
Welcome back, everyone. Well, today is Wednesday, November 2nd. On this day in history in 1783, General George Washington issued his farewell address to the Army near Princeton, New Jersey. In 1976, former Georgia Governor Jimmy Carter became the first candidate from the Deep South after the Civil War to be elected as president.
In 2000, an American astronaut and 2 Russian cosmonauts became the first residents of the International Space Station. And in 2016, the Chicago Cubs won the World Series, ending a drought that began in 1908.
That was huge for some of the local Cubby fans. I know a few of them, and they just went crazy. So.
Yeah, it's good luck.
Yeah.
It's good luck. And those are some superstitious fans right there, too,
They
baseball
were.
fans.
Yeah. Don't mess with them.
Right. Well, today's birthdays include active David Schwimmer from the TV show Friends. He's 56. Rapper Nelly is 48. Actually, to sidestep, though, I just recently learned my name is Emma, and Rachel, I didn't watch the show Friends, but Rachel, and oh my gosh, people who watch Friends are going to hate me, but whoever she had her baby with on the show is named Emma. Yeah. And I learned recently, the popularity
of
that.
Ross.
Right.
Ross and Rachel.
Right.
Yeah.
The popularity of that name went up after that happened in like 2002 or something.
Huh.
Yep.
Makes sense.
So I was a little before it.
I was one of those who watched it religiously for a long time.
Yep.
So.
Well, actor Stephanie Powers is 80 years old, and I don't. Who's Stephanie?
I know
Powers?
who that is. I knew you weren't going to know who that is. She was a big star, like from the 60s through the 70s and 80s. She had a huge show with Robert Wagner called Heart to Heart. You wouldn't know it, but my grandmother watched it every week, and it was always on at the house.
Unless it's horror from the 70s, I don't know.
Right. Well, Stephanie Powers is 80 years old. You know, she was a beautiful lady.
Yeah. Yep.
You know, I knew that. I was a little kid, and I still knew she was beautiful.
Oh, yep. So. Hey, still beautiful. 80 years old.
It's going to be a beautiful day today too.
It is a beautiful day.
How do you like that segue?
Good segue.
Years of experience coming up, guys. Yeah.
So let's talk about the weather.
Yeah. It's going to be sunny today. The high's up around 60, and then even warmer as the week rolls along.
It's warm. I've been warm lately. I wore a sweatshirt. Even yesterday, I know Devin has the muggy meter on, so it just feels muggy to me, but it's not as muggy as it feels.
I will not complain about it.
Right. Me either.
Here's Devin.
And thank you very much, Craig and Emma. Happy Wednesday. Your first weather forecast brought to you by Boosted Auto and Diesel. For all your automotive, heavy truck, and equipment needs, call Ronnie at 207-659-9458. Alrighty, here we are. It's a beautiful morning out there when the clouds are getting out of here. We had a system that passed through recently, and it's going to help to cool us off just a little bit. We're still going to be in the 60s. It's still going to be pretty nice, but still windy out there with the north wind getting up at 20 miles per hour from time to time. Here's the big picture. We have a lot of this activity now that's out towards sea, and there's some lightning with it as well, but we're starting to calm down as high pressure is going to be moving in for us today. That equals some very nice weather that will be taking place. But as for today, though, futurecast, a lot of sunshine, maybe a few passing clouds from time to time. We might see a few clouds and even some dense fog possible overnight tonight again. It won't be very widespread, but you might notice it in a few areas for the morning period tomorrow. As for the wind, again, some sustained winds up to 10 to 15 miles per hour, gusts up to 25 miles per hour early in the day. But later this evening, that wind will begin to back off and actually switch out of the south and west. But again, your forecast for today, lower 60s, mostly sunny, a little breezy out there. That north wind getting up to around 20 miles per hour. Later on tonight, lower 30s, mostly clear. Some areas of dense fog on the way, with the wind overall looking nice and calm. And that hourly forecast for the rest of the morning and afternoon period, not too bad. Seeing a lot of sunshine temperatures. That'll be making it into the lower 60s. That will feel nice. Your full 5-day forecast is coming up. Craig and Emma.
All right, thank you, Devin.
It is warm.
It is warm.
Well, I mean, on another good note,
No, I'll read that. I'm still thinking about how warm it is.
Yes.
Our Herman teacher was honored with a prestigious $25,000 award, and she had no idea it was coming.
Sarah Collins is a 4th grade math and science teacher at Patricia A. Duran School. She received the Milken Educator Award during a school assembly.
The award recognizes the dedicated work of educators all across the nation. Collins explained what went through her mind when the vice president of the Milken Awards called her name.
I am just shocked, blown away. I never expected this, so I'm very ecstatic to receive the Milken Award. I'm hugely honored. I work with amazing staff that go above and beyond every single day, and I knew this could be anyone here. I feel loved and supported here.
Collins says she hopes to use the award money to advance more math and science outdoor learning experiences for her students. Congratulations to her.
Yeah, recognition is always good, and a prize really,
that helps.
Sweetens the deal.
I think if I was reading correctly, she has spent a bunch of her own money on school supplies and things like that. So
I know as teachers, it can be really hard to resist that. I see a lot of kind of Amazon wish lists and GoFundMe's for like artistic supplies and just regular things. So
she has some money to help out.
Yes, that's awesome. Well, the University of Maine, and on the same note, kicked off a campus-wide food drive yesterday. All donations go to the Black Bear Exchange, which benefits Orono students and faculty in need of assistance.
Last year's drive brought in more than 800 pounds of food. The exchange is hoping for another successful year.
This is a great community effort. There's a lot of here on campus. We get a lot of turnout from our employees and students, and it's been a wonderful experience the last 2 years, and we're hoping for the same this year as well.
Donation boxes are located at the University Bookstore, the Bare Necessities Fan Shop, Bear's Den, Hilltop Market, both dining halls, and in residence halls. Those who donate 3 items at the fan shop or bookstore can receive a 30% off coupon for 1 regular priced item. Donations will be accepted through December 16th.
So bring those donations in.
I know. A lot of people already kind of have them in their cabinets themselves. I know if I see something on sale like tuna or something, I'll buy a couple. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. Well, still to come here on the second half of our show, Tyler Cruz will have your latest local sports highlights.
Back right after this.
Wings, Wings, Wings is hiring.
Come work at Wings, Wings, Wings.
Wings is #1.
Wings does case management.
Bring hope to families by working at
Wings, Wings, Wings.
I work at Wings.
I work at Wings. Come work at Wings. Wings, Wings, Wings. Ranked one of the best places to work in Maine for the last 5 years in a row.
I'm Phil Levesque, president of Levesque Business Solutions. We're a family-owned Maine business since 1963.
We're your one-stop shop for great office products at affordable rates. From copiers to office furniture to PPE, we've got it all warehoused right here in Bangor. We're your local small Maine business with a dedicated staff providing honest and friendly customer service, top-of-the-line tech support, and the option of in-house leasing. Let us help you get back to business.
I've got plans. We've all got them. But Bruce Poliquin's plans would put Social Security benefits at risk. He planned to raise the retirement age and cap retirees' cost of living increases. He even opposed allowing Medicare to negotiate cheaper drug prices. But Jared Golden didn't just plan. He passed legislation to cap seniors' drug costs and let Medicare negotiate drug prices. Jared Golden is the man with the right plan.
DCCC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
The law. If you break it,
You didn't pay rent.
you'll pay for it.
It's my show. Nobody cares whether you have a personality or not.
Weeknights at 5 on ABC 7.
Welcome back in. Thank you for staying with us. Let's start with some news out of the NBA. After being suspended for the season by the Celtics, Ime Udoka is back, but he'll be with a different club. Despite his suspension for violating multiple team policies handed down by the Celtics, Udoka will coach again this season. On Tuesday, it was reported by Adrian Wojnarowski of ESPN that Udoka has emerged as the front-runner for the Nets' head coaching vacancy recently opened up by Brooklyn and Steve Nash parting ways, and that the hiring could become official as early as Tuesday night. Celtics are reportedly letting Udoka walk freely for the Brooklyn job. And an independent investigation into Udoka's situation with Boston concluded that Udoka used crude language in his dialogue with a female subordinate before the start of an improper workplace relationship with the woman. That is also according to ESPN. Let's head to some soccer now, and we will go to some playoff soccer on Wednesday night. The Old Town Coyotes will play for the Northern Maine Championship for the first time in program history. After a close win over third-ranked Presque Isle on Saturday, Old Town paved their way to the Class B North Finals. Prior to the class change, the Coyotes had made the Eastern Maine Finals once before, and that was about 20 years ago. They say the team has come a long way in the past few years. They finished second in Class B North this fall, and they say their success is just a direct correlation to the work they put in.
I mean, it's really crazy because
Of how hard we've worked for these past 4 years, and we're finally able to have a chance to really show our talents off, and having everything be broadcasted and people rooting for us is really nice. It's a really nice change.
Well, I mean, we work really hard. We try our best. Like, I know everyone does that, but we just are super hungry. We've never made it this far as long as we've been here, so everyone's just super excited.
The Coyotes earned a matchup against top-ranked Herman. The Hawks haven't lost a game against a Northern Maine opponent in years. So either the Hawks or the Coyotes will be crowned Class B North champs. That's Wednesday night at Cameron Stadium. And for Old Town, they're kind of embracing that underdog role. And they know that if they play together, they'll have a chance.
I just think going in as an underdog kind of gives us an upper hand, just because we have nothing to lose and we're not kind of scared of them like we used to be. So I think they have more of a fear, and we're kind of just going in fearless. So that's exciting.
All right, let's stay with some soccer now, wishing the Coyotes luck. It was a historic day for Maine women's soccer this weekend. On Sunday, they hosted their first playoff game in over 5 years, and they won 4-1 over NJIT. Now, they're just 2 wins away from a trip to the NCAA tournament, and a longtime rival is up next. Ryan Sudol has the story.
As the sun was just rising in Orono Tuesday morning, Maine Black Bears women's soccer was wide awake, and for good reason. For the first time in 7 years, they're headed to the America East Conference semifinals after beating NJIT on Sunday.
I mean, it means everything. This is something we've been working towards for so long. We've put so much of our lives and so much energy into this, so it really would just be a dream come true.
And they have every right to believe. Their defense has allowed less than 1 goal a game this year.
Our back line is just great, and the communication we have on the field and just the connection we have off the field is why we're doing so well. We work really hard to make sure we're covering, and if one of us has a bad tackle, just giving each other some uplifting information, and really comes down to trust.
Speaking of which, the Black Bears are looking to trust in their offense, and they really stepped it up against NJIT. 4 goals, 4 different players.
Everyone is putting in the effort to get forward. Everyone is connecting. When you have so many people that can score, how do you hold us back? You can't.
But in their way, the 2 seed, New Hampshire. The Black Bears have only beaten their arch rivals once in their last 7 tries.
It's going to take a lot. I mean, if we just trust in each other, if we go about it the same way when we went against NJIT, getting at them and being confident and, just unsettle them for the first 10 minutes. UNH is a very aggressive team, very physical, so we want to show them that we are too, and just get in their heads a bit and then connect and play forward and get in on goal and have fun.
That semifinal matchup takes place this Thursday at 6:05 at New Hampshire. In Orono, I'm Ryan Sudol, Fox 22, ABC 7.
Thanks for that, Ryan. Wishing the Black Bears some luck over in New Hampshire. Let's stay on the UMaine subject. The Gold Glove winners were announced on Tuesday. Taking home the hardware for the American League at the shortstop position was none other than former Black Bear himself, Jeremy Pena. Pena, who is currently playing for a World Series title with the Houston Astros, becomes the first rookie ever to win the Gold Glove at the shortstop position. Among the finalists were Red Sox shortstop Xander Bogaerts and Carlos Correa, the man Pena replaced in Houston. The Rook was tied for first in defensive runs saved, and obviously it's his first Gold Glove, it's his first year, so just more milestones for Maine's former shortstop. We love to see him racking up the hardware and the accomplishments. It's hard to admit it, but I'm pulling for the Astros in this one. That's all the time we have for sports. We'll be right back after the break.
At Home Kitchen, Bath, and Flooring in Dover Foxcroft are proud members of the Flooring Network here in Maine. We have our flooring installers on staff ready for you and your custom flooring project. With over 50 years of combined experience, we'll work with you from start to finish, including demo and cleanup. Backed by the Flooring Network's state-of-the-art warehouses, we have a massive inventory to provide you with the best value and fit any flooring budget you may have. So stop in, meet our flooring experts, and see what we can do to make you feel at home.
I am so fearful this winter for oil prices.
We can't go on like this.
Jared Golden's votes are definitely making inflation worse.
Jared Golden is not independent.
Golden and Biden are lockstep.
I'm a Marine Corps veteran, and I cannot support Jared Golden.
We need to make a change. Maine needs Bruce Poliquin.
Bruce Poliquin is concerned with Maine people of all walks of life.
I know Bruce Poliquin cares for Maine, and I know he'll fight for us.
I'm Bruce Poliquin, and I approve this message. My operator said, hey, one of our regular customers had a heart transplant recently. Would you be okay with me introducing you to them? I was like, absolutely, man.
That's when I got to meet Brian. We've both had a heart transplant and love Chick-fil-A. Brian represents older me because of what he's been through.
I was so happy to be able to be that person in Shay's life.
It's nice knowing someone in the community able to talk to like that.
I'm glad that I'm in this journey, in this story right now with Shay.
Welcome back to Good Morning Maine. The Maine Department of Inland Fisheries and Wildlife is seeking public input on its upcoming fur bearer management plan. Fur bearers are animals that include coyotes, red and gray fox, bobcat, and other animals. The 2020 through 2030 management plan draft represents coordination on healthy and abundant fur bearer populations while still allowing sustainable harvests and trapping opportunities. To learn more, head to maine.gov/IFW.
The Maine Audubon has announced their backyard bird of the month for November, being the white-breasted nuthatch. The Audubon says they are one of the most charismatic backyard birds, as they frequently visit feeders, often tossing aside undesirable selections until they find preferable seed. They are known as nuthatches because they will wedge nuts like acorns into bark crevices and hammer them in with their beaks. To learn more, head to MaineAudubon.org.
With daylight savings around the corner, fire officials are issuing a routine reminder to test your smoke alarms.
We recommend changing the batteries every 6 months, so we recommend changing your batteries in the spring and in the fall. We also recommend that you test your smoke detectors every single month.
Assistant Fire Chief Bean says not testing your smoke and carbon monoxide alarm can result in serious consequences. Anyone that needs help testing their fire alarms is encouraged to call their local fire department, where they will be guided step by step on how to do so.
So important. I was talking to the chief in Levant the other day, and they're really worried about the upcoming heating season. Price of oil, all that kind of thing is so high, people might be using some different kinds of heating sources, and they're concerned about what will happen. So one thing you can do, at least, go get some batteries. They don't cost much. Put them in your smoke detectors.
Yeah, I know those alternative sources. I mean, I'll see. Doing this job has made me realize all sorts of things. Fire hazards. It's like even buying, if you buy an old heater at a thrift store or at a yard sale, or if you buy even old lamps or anything, that old electrical wiring.
They aren't up to date.
They're not up to date.
Yeah.
So, and leaving them on for long periods, it's just,
some people will be leaving their stoves open, things like that.
Yeah, I get it.
Could be some accidents.
Fuel's expensive. Yep.
All right. We don't have to worry about heating too much today, though, because it's going to be nice and warm out there.
Not for the next week or so. Yep. So a reprieve for now. Here's meteorologist Evan Biggs with our full weather forecast.
Alrighty, Craig and Emma, thank you very much. Your full weather forecast brought to you by Boosted Auto and Diesel. For all your automotive, heavy truck, and equipment needs, call Ronnie at 207-659-9458. Alrighty, here we are. The radar and satellite's pretty quiet out there now after we had a front that's moved through, although we're still seeing a change, though, with the wind. It's going to be out of the north with gusts up to around 20 miles per hour from time to time. But if there's any good news that I can happily report, though, here's high pressure right here. Here's that front that's moving through, and some good news with that is, some nice weather will be moving in throughout the daytime today with a lot of sunshine. We'll just have to deal with the wind with the cold front and high pressure really close to one another. But again, not too bad, though. Some gusty winds will be the only big deal today that could reach up around 20, maybe 25 miles per hour from time to time today, with the gustiest of the winds further off towards the east. But later this evening, though, into the overnight, look what happens. The winds really begin to calm down as high pressure begins to set up shop, and again, maybe some areas of dense fog for the daytime tomorrow. Wave height, it's not too bad at around 3 feet according to the buoy. Some areas even up to 5 feet. Again, no small craft advisories in effect at this point. Things remain relatively calm for us. But look at this. The temperatures have have been amazing recently. We've had temperatures that have been in the 60s and even a few 70s from time to time as well. This is way above normal for this time of the year. Our average high should actually be in the lower 50s. How about 51 degrees? We're going to be well past that today with the lower 60s. The upper 50s Thursday. Another surge in temperatures, mid-60s Friday, making a run for 70s Saturday, Sunday, even into your day on Monday before we cool off again as we head towards your Tuesday. And I haven't dug this out in a while, the muggy meter. Look what's going on here. Dew points actually rise with its warm-up Saturday and a Sunday. We might notice dew points will be in the lower 60s. Nothing ridiculous, though, but you might notice it feeling a little bit muggy from time to time. Kind of weird. It's November, and I'm digging this graphic out, so kind of crazy to see what the weather's doing this time of the year. Longer-term forecast, November 7th through the 11th, high probability that these above-average temperatures in general will continue. Yeah, we have a little bit of a cool down, but the probability of us being above average, and right now that average high is 51 degrees, will continue. Futurecast moving forward, though, again, a beautiful day out there for today. Just a few passing clouds from time to time. Otherwise, a lot of sunshine. Will be mostly clear tonight. Some areas of dense fog cannot be ruled out. Futurecast picking up on that nicely. Maybe a few passing clouds as well, and maybe a few passing clouds again as we head towards your Thursday, but overall, things continue to remain nice. Lower 60s today, mostly sunny and breezy with that north wind getting up to about 20 miles per hour. Moving ahead towards tonight, lower 30s out there, mostly clear, some areas of dense fog with the wind overall looking nice and calm. For tomorrow, upper 50s, maybe lower 60s, a partly cloudy sky. That southwest wind backing off to about 5 to 10 miles per hour. And your boosted auto and diesel extended forecast. Here we are, looking really good for your Friday. Partly cloudy, highs in the mid-60s. We're in the upper 60s, maybe lower 70s on Saturday with a mostly cloudy sky. And a small chance of rain on Sunday, which is also the time change as 2 a.m. becomes 1 a.m. with highs in the low 70s.
In Maine, our independence, hard work, and freedoms mean everything, but not to Paul LePage. He's repeatedly attacked women's reproductive freedom. LePage supported letting states ban abortion with no exceptions for rape or incest, defunded family planning programs, and told extremists we shouldn't have abortion. He's a risk to our health and freedom, and it's why we can't go back to Paul LePage. The top funder of Better Maine is the Democratic Governors Association.
You got 100 points.
Have you been moisturizing?
Just sunscreen.
That's 50 points.
With AARP rewards, anyone can earn points.
Who's got 200 points?
You've got 200 points.
It's the free loyalty program that rewards you.
They're ready for you.
That's 300 points.
And helps your money, health, and happiness live longer.
By these times, 200 points.
Start earning and redeeming points today.
Senator Joe Baldacci, hardworking, independent, and effective. Since being elected, Joe has been a champion of our schools, students, and teachers. Joe Baldacci delivered full funding of all the public schools in Bangor and Herman. Joe Baldacci delivered on free in-school meals for all students in need. Joe Baldacci delivered on free community college to bolster the workforce skills of Maine workers. Joe Baldacci, hardworking, independent, and effective. Delivering results for Bangor.
Breakfast bagels are back at McDonald's. A fluffy egg, 2 slices of cheese, and your choice of a steak patty, bacon, or sausage, all in a toasted bagel. Breakfast bagels are back, but only for a limited time.
There's a commercial with all of us. Turn on the TV.
Tariq is in town.
You guys are going out tonight?
It's just going to be a little catch-up session for dinner.
Did you pick those flowers out of my garden?
No.
Come on, let's
Well, NASA captures an image of a smiling sun. The eerie image was taken by NASA's Solar Dynamics Observatory back on October 26th. NASA shared the image on social media, with some comparing it to a giant space pumpkin. But it isn't as cheery as it appears. The dark spots that make it look like the sun is smiling are called coronal holes. It does not sound very good. Maybe something that you need to go see a doctor for.
Yeah, looks
Maybe
happy
not.
though.
Maybe not. I don't know. That's it for now, folks. We thank you for joining us.
Have a good day.
Jamar Construction Products in Bangor continues to grow to meet our customers' needs, supplying products for site work contractors, concrete contractors, and survey and safety supplies. We are proud to be the local dealer for Hilti, Valley Blades, U.S. Fabrics, and Euclid Chemical, plus so much more. Stop by and see us at 1270 Hammond Street or give us a call at 907-482-5500. 4491. If you dig it, pour it, plow it, fasten it, lay it, or lift it, Jamar Construction Products can help you.
Luna Family Auto Sales is a locally owned business run by a husband and wife team.
Here at Luna Family Auto Sales, we combine our passion for cars with providing service to the community and local economy. Featuring no dark or hidden fees at all, we offer financing for all credit types and service everything we sell.
Check out our website at lunafamilyautosales.com.
Or come in and say hi. We'd love to meet you and introduce ourselves. Luna Family Auto Sales, 649 Stillwater Ave, Old Town.
I'm Jay Pearl.